Good morning. The Friday, March 27th, regular City of Knoxville public officer hearing is called to order at 9:33 a.m. I am Nicholas Bradshaw, the public officer designated by the mayor as described in the City Code of Ordinances, Article 6, unfit buildings, and charged with addressing properties in the city that are out of compliance with the adopted codes of the City of Knoxville. The adopted codes include the 2024 editions of the following. These are all international codes: fire, building, residential, plumbing, mechanical, fuel gas, existing building, and in the International Swimming Pool and Spa Code. And the 2017 editions of the ICC ANSI Accessibility Code, 2023 edition of the National Electrical Code, 2018 edition of the International Energy Conservation Code, and 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code. The public officer is authorized to hold hearings, administer oaths and affirmations, examine witnesses, and receive evidence and issue orders as a result of his findings in determining the condition of buildings that are dangerous, unfit, and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants and/or public. The procedure for the public officer is as follows. Each case will start with a report and presentation of evidence by officers representing various city departments. Today, this will primarily consist of, but is not limited to, evidence presented by Mr. Scott Elder, Neighborhood Codes Enforcement Manager for the City of Knoxville. Mr. Elder is employed by the City of Knoxville and is certified as a Property Maintenance and Housing Inspector. Following the city's report and testimony, the owner or owners and/or their legal counsel, as well as any members of the general public, will be given an opportunity to respond. The public officer has the authority to limit this time as per his discretion. Today's agenda will be modified to hear the cases of property owners present at this time and in the order signed up as you enter the hearing room. We make this accommodation to minimize any inconvenience to the owners and members of the public here today. For those actively participating in today's meeting, thank you. Your involvement and active participation is appreciated. As per legal counsel, I need to read the following notice of demolition into the record. Any person who intends to perform work on a structure that the public officer has placed an order against shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. For orders issued by the public officer, please be aware that just obtaining permits and starting rehabilitation of a structure does not invalidate the city's power to take corrective action, such as demolition of a dangerous structure, regardless of the amount of work performed by the owner. All orders are still in effect if the rehabilitation work has not been completed and the structure has not had all final inspections approved within the time provided by the order, or by an extension if one has been granted. Remember, if rehab is not fully complete or an extension is not in place, the structure may be demolished after the order time has expired or after any prior written extension of time has expired without any further notice given to the owner. All right, are there any questions before we start and before all participants are sworn in? Seeing none, all individuals testifying today will need to be sworn in. If you are testifying today, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Ms. LaFew, please advise me of any individuals who arrive late and need to be sworn in mid-hearing. All right, and with that, Ms. LaFew, what is our first property today?
3119 Woodbine Avenue.
31 Woodbine. All right, Mr. Elder.
Yeah, this property was inspected on 3/30/2019, and it was found to be in extremely poor and deteriorating conditions. The roof has, as we'll sift through these photos here, the roof has a very large hole. It's open to the elements and is otherwise in very poor condition. The roof has holes and missing shingles and other damage throughout, but there's a particularly big hole towards the rear that you can see daylight through. As a result, some of the interiors have been badly damaged by the roof leak. Gutters and soffits are damaged or falling off. Utilities have been removed. There's a retaining wall in the rear that has failed. Actually looks like trees growing through it and is partially collapsed. probably this is our most concerning picture. The walls have severe cracking there, and the walls have shifted. Now, that's the veneer, but the whole house has shifted. Those cracks are severe. Likely due to the stormwater runoff, the failed retaining wall. This is on a slope. So there's significant structure damage here. Extreme cracking of the brick, and the property's also become a source of several. There's a picture of one of the walls shifting and the windows going in. We've had several nuisance calls out here, and there's currently one open and unpaid city invoice. Will you go back to that one, Grace, please? There's a picture of the roof. We can see the daylight and the resulting damage of it. Even the ceiling supports there have failed in the insulation. And then the next one, there's the retaining wall. There might even be there you go. See, the retaining wall is completely failed. It's no longer vertical in that section, and that's, we believe, a lot of the water's coming down through there, and the person taking this photo's back is to the house. So that's where we're seeing a lot of the damage. It's in severe disrepair. So we're recommending. I know that there's been some movement out there. We've seen some people clearing things this week. So we're going to request a little bit longer order. So it's 120-day repair demolition order for this one is what we're requesting.
All right. Ms. LaFew, do we have any people present to speak on this property?
Yes, we have Ariane Kitchen.
All right. Mr. Kitchen, if you could please approach and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Arian Kitchen. My current address, 1700 Evening Shade Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37919.
Thank you.
All right, I acquired this property back in 2023. I paid $32,000 for it. It was in this condition when I purchased it. Since then, I've been trying to procure financing to get it repaired. I was able to get financing in February of this year. I have a signed landscaping agreement that was signed earlier this month, and they started cleaning out getting rid of all the brush and trees and whatnot. And I also procured a general contractor the 1st of March, and he's already put in for the permit to start the work on the house. So.
Okay. So we pulled a permit. We're starting work. We're going to try to rehabilitate this structure.
Yeah.
Okay. Chief, any follow-on?
Well, I think that he's applied for the permit. I don't think the permit's quite been issued yet.
Well, he put in, well, I misspoke. He put in, I have.
No, I get it, and that's what we want you to do. So my concern will be that the permit is for an alteration. I think it just says renovations. This is likely going to require a lot more evaluation for the structure. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a complete gut out of the house.
yeah, the interior.
Framing, everything, new roof, the whole 9 yards.
Right. Interior, those things are fairly simple. The concerns are going to be with the major shift in the bricks and the foundation and the structural. I think you may bog down, and this is a conversation he can have with the plans review department, but the foundations are going to need to be reviewed.
Right.
Probably by a structural engineer. So that's why I'm giving him asking for the 4 months. You're on the right path, and I think that we're happy to work with you on that, but just be aware that permit could take some time, and there may be more costs involved if an engineer is required, so.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get it, we'll do. Yeah, no problem.
Oh, thank you. Anything else?
That's it. I mean, I have finances to finance the project, so.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think given the state of this property, we're gonna proceed today. But absolutely continue the work you're doing. If you have any questions from our codes department, I encourage you to stay in contact with them. You can even catch them after the meeting if you'd like. All right?
Yeah, sure. Who do I need to talk to? Okay.
Yeah, Alan's the inspector there, so I think, and he can answer specific questions, but you're on the right path. You're he would just tell you to go get a permit, and you're doing the right thing, but he can help you with some specifics if you need to.
All right, sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks.
Great. All right, I find the structure at 3119 Woodbine Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 3119 Woodbine Avenue within 120 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. Ms. LaFew, what is our next property?
2638 Jefferson Avenue.
Mr. Elder?
Yeah, okay, this one, this goes back to 2017, for my time in this seat. It was found at that time to be in poor and deteriorating conditions, and an immediate repair order was issued at this property back then. Not a whole lot's been done. It looks like some attempts have been made to do some repairs, but not to the level that's required. Utilities have been removed, and the neighbors have been complaining. It's been a subject of several nuisance calls. There's signs of vagrancy around the property, clothing and food, and it's, according to the neighbors, a frequent cut-through for folks at all hours of the night. It's been recently cleaned and mowed by the city several times, and there's, as you can see, visible damage to the siding, soffits, and other parts of the interior as well. So we're requesting a 90-day repair demolition order, since this will be the second order issued for this property.
So the previous order was a repair-only order, and that was in
17, correct.
2017? Okay,
Right.
all right. Ms. LaFew, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this property?
Yes. Mr. Jerry Lawson.
Mr. Lawson, could you please approach and state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Jerry Lawson. I live at 6200 Aldingham Street, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37912.
Okay.
This is actually my mother's property. She's been in declining health the last couple of years, and I was sending someone over to mow last year. I plan on continuing that, but we do want to sell the property. There's no reason for us to keep it. I've talked to a couple of people. One guy's, he's fairly interested. He has several houses in that area that he rents, and they can do the work. And I've actually talked to the people at the church. They might be interested in buying the property for parking.
Your mother's Sylvia
Yes.
K. Hill?
Yes.
She's not living at the property?
No. My understanding is, yeah, in 2017, I didn't know much about the property because I didn't mess with her rentals, but she had some issues then and evidently didn't take care of them.
Okay. You're not disputing any of the facts presented by Mr. Elder as to the condition of the property today?
No, except, I mean, we did send people over to mow last year because I sent them over like at least 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Anything further?
No, we do plan on trying to sell the property, though.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah. You didn't have anything to rejoinder on that?
No, no, I don't have anything else to add.
Great. All right. Thank you. I find that the structure at 2638 Jefferson Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 2638 Jefferson Avenue within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. Ms. LaFew, what is our next property?
2101 Linden Avenue.
Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Elder, could you please,
Sure. Originally inspected on February 18th of this year, found to be in poor and deteriorating condition. It actually suffered a significant fire. This was referred to us from the fire department, I believe 2 days before, so in February. We've got some pictures there, I think, of that. So significant fire damage, and it's in burnout conditions in many areas. It was boarded by the city subsequently after the fire. All the utilities have been removed. This property has several nuisance calls from the neighborhood. It's frequently dirtied and cluttered. There's a picture of the porch there. There's trash there. You can see there's continuing signs of vagrancy at the property, complaints that even since the fire, folks have tried to go back in there and they've had to be removed. So this is a burnout situation with a lot of problems at the property. So we're requesting a 90-day repair demolition order for this property.
all right, now, Ms. LaFew, do we have anyone signed up to speak for this property?
Yes. James Smith.
Mr. Smith, if you could please approach and state your name and address for the record.
My name is James Smith. My address is 1324 Ely Road, Hickson, Tennessee.
All right.
The property in question I've acquired a couple of years in a bid to get it redone. The pictures today is not the way the property sits today. We have since went through and added additional reinforcement to doors to make sure that no one can enter or exit. No one can enter the building. We have cleaned up all the debris around the property. The lawn is scheduled to be cut. As needed. We have a property manager in place that will monitor the property, and we've also reached out to Officer Olson, who is also, we have given the authority to also, aid should he see anybody trying to intrude into the property. The goal for the property, is to kind of get it rehabilitated. At some point, I would ask for additional time. I know he spoke of 90-day demolition, but ultimately, we want to not be a nuisance to the city, but add some additional affordable housing units to the city. My business, typically, we have rentals in and around Knoxville, and typically we don't end up on this list. And so, ultimately, we want to make sure that we're impacting positively society as we move on.
How long has it been since you acquired this property?
It's been a couple of years. We've pulled permits before, but we had some issues with the contractor and funding, and contractor going ghost. And so, ultimately, we're unfortunately unable to move forward. But we're coming to a close on that situation, and so we should be able to kind of move forward.
So we don't, just to confirm, we don't have any active permits?
No
at this
active
time?
permits currently, no, sir.
Okay.
But what I can assure the city is that there, I don't foresee us being a burden to the coffers of calls coming in going forward, as we will now actively monitor the property. All the debris reinforcements, short-term reinforcements have been made. And all trees that surround the property has been cleared out, and you can clearly view the property, so we won't be harboring any persons who are not able to find housing illegally.
Well, it sounds like you're making some progress, which is good. I think the record I have is that we're just at this property on the 19th of March, which was just last week. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think maybe Jordan was over there taking some photos, and I think we probably had a call that he had to come back out on, so, right.
So the photos are current as of March 19th?
Very recently, now, it's not to say that work hasn't, I certainly take his word that something's probably been done.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've been in communication with Jordan, you know, and I'm sure he can attest to my ease of doing business to be accessible. No, those pictures are not accurate. We went out there at the top of March, even before the posting, and the property looks nothing like that. And I'm sure Jordan has additional photos that I'm sure he's physically seen, and I've also sent photos to Jordan also.
Okay. But we don't have a permit. We don't have a,
No permit yet, sir. No, sir.
do you have anything further to respond to that?
No, I don't. I do have concerns about the 90 days. I'd like to keep it at that, and if nothing's done at all, then, I mean, it has been over 2 years, and we've got lots of calls here, and then ultimately, those calls led to a fire. It puts our firefighters in danger and that type thing. So, 90 days, I think we can always come back and ask for an extension. If we're sitting here in 90 days with nothing done, then we've not done anything at all. So, if the 90 days expires, I don't mind. And if this gentleman needs an extension, if he wants to file one, then I'd be happy to work that out and request that from you, and you can grant it or not. So, but I think just letting it go any longer than that has proven not to be fruitful for the neighborhood. So, neighbors are on this, and you know, this is where we are. We're at the fire situation now. So, I appreciate the efforts going forward, but I think 90 days, I think, is
Yeah, I mean,
would be
we've
the
never
time.
come before the city on this property before. So I'm not sure. You know, I don't know that we've ever been, you know, mailed anything to say that we were a nuisance. This is the primary, you know, pre-fire, of course. We've never been cited or anything for this property. Not for trash, not for high grass. So I'm kind of taken aback by just holding firm on the 90 days, being that this is our first offense on said property.
Well, I think we're certainly pleased and hopeful, optimistic that you're invested and interested in rehabilitating this project. And as Mr. Elder stated, we do. I think he's made plain that the city is amenable to an extension if one should be necessary down the road. I certainly would be amenable to that as well. But we're going to need to see some serious progress, especially in light of the fire situation. So I want to keep that in mind. But as Mr. Elder stated, I think his team is willing to work with you to resolve this situation. At the present time, we do have a pretty serious issue, I think, to resolve. So, anything further,
No.
Mr. Smith? All right. Well, thank you. All right. I do find that the structure at 2101 Linden Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 2101 Linden Avenue within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. And I will add to that, the city has gone on the record that we would be open to an extension if we get to close to this 90-day period and progress has been made. We are open to that. So we will consider that, and then I hope you guys can have an open dialogue about that if necessary. All right. Ms. LaFew, where does that take us next?
The emergency boarding order for 2101 Linden Avenue.
Yeah, we request an emergency boarding for this property, 2101 Linden. We're just requesting approval of those boarding charges.
All right, this is the one we just talked about. It's a boarding action taken in February.
Right, following the fire, correct.
Okay. The fire was in February?
Yeah, I think it was the 16th. Yeah, it was, we were there right after the fire.
We were there on the 19th.
Right, right. It was very close to that.
All right. Has Mr. Smith signed up to speak specifically to the boarding action?
No, I mean, I would just say that, you know, they added 3 boards and we went through and reinforced all windows and doors that were left also. So we added additional to the windows all the way around, so.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I approve the boarding action taken by the City Public Service Department and affirm the charges related to the corrective action for the structure at 2101 Linden Avenue due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. What's our next item?
403 Nash Road.
403 Nash Road. Mr. Elder?
Yeah, this property was inspected in July of last year. This house was found to have a very large hole right in the roof right above the front porch with heavy damage to the porch ceiling. That's the big culprit there. Can you go, yeah, so let's go, yeah, there you go. You can see what it's doing to the porch there. It's only getting worse. Utilities have been removed. If you go to the back, Grace, it looks like the house has been entered and the side door's been boarded up. Looks like it's been entered at some point and boarded. It's become a place of several nuisance calls from the neighborhood, and there are currently 3 unpaid invoices for city mowing services. That's the rear of the house there. Looks like someone, that was not us that put that there, so someone has been aware that people have been trying to get in there. It's frequently dirty and cluttered with rubbish, as you can see, all those things there. So otherwise, the structure looks to be in good shape, so we're just requesting a 60-day repair order for this house.
All right, Ms. LaFew, has anyone signed up to speak?
Yes. We have Chuck Burris and Tiffany Haley.
Mr. Burris, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Chuck Burks. I'm an attorney here in Knoxville. And this structure and this house is a subject to an estate matter that's it's in probate court. There are 3 heirs, 3 grandchildren that are heirs, and we're on the cusp of getting the estate closed and let the heirs decide, you know, if they want to try to repair it, sell it, fix it up. That's the problem. We have one heir that lives in North Carolina, one heir that lives in Kentucky, and we have one of the grandchildren that lives here in Knoxville. And I was unaware of any problems with this until we received the notice. I think that they would like to try to fix it up, but I'm not sure I can get the estate closed in 60 days, because once we file everything, I think everything's been filed, but we have to file a petition, then it has to go through the clerk and master, and then the clerk and master has so many days to send it to the chancellor, and then the chancellor has to approve to get it closed so they can try to do something with the property. But I think the heirs now have some authority to do something with it, but I would like the opportunity to give them the ability to fix it. I just was unaware of the condition of the property.
I assume no one's living there now currently, correct?
Do what?
No one's living in this structure? at
Not
the
to my
present time?
knowledge, no. I know one of the heirs did for a while, but I'm not aware of anybody living in it at this point.
Okay. Do you have something additional, Mr. Elder?
I just want to reiterate that this is a little different than the ones you've heard before. This is just a repair order. There's not a demolition action that we're pursuing at this time. So you mentioned that the heirs do have some authority to take some action if perhaps they can just get the roof repaired. I think it would be in all their best interest anyway. It's just going to keep getting worse. So
Sure.
That's all we're asking is that someone makes sure that it doesn't become worse, the roof is to their own benefit, and that people stay out of the house and it doesn't become a nuisance to the neighborhood. That's really what we're looking for.
Okay, and I appreciate being notified. We didn't know anything until we received the notice on it. But I will due diligence, try to get the estate part out of the way and let these heirs move forward to do what they need to do with this structure.
Okay, great. I will mention, we do have 3 unpaid invoices for mowing, so we're about to hit mowing season, so if
How much is owed?
we can talk with Grace here after, or Holly. I think Holly can help you. She's down there at the end.
Right.
She can let you know, and maybe talk to the heirs about a plan for this spring. It's about to start growing pretty quick. so-
Right, and I'll make sure that they keep it mowed, keep it in good shape.
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Did Miss Haley wish to speak as well, or?
No, I was just wanting to hear what was happening.
Okay. All right. Ms. LaFew, no one else has signed up to speak on this property?
No.
All right. I find that the structure at 403 Nash Road is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I order the owner to repair the structure at 403 Nash Road within 60 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed. Ms. LaFew, what is our next item?
Boarding approval for 209 South Castle Street.
This property was boarded on 8/26 of 2025, and we are seeking, well, a little bit of background on it. It's been demolished since then. But we're requesting approval for the boarding charges taken back in August of 25.
Okay. Is there anyone signed up to speak on this item?
No.
Okay. I approve the boarding action taken by the City Public Service Department and affirm the charges related to the corrective action for the structure at 209 South Castle Street, due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. So bring us to 1905 Riverside Drive. Is that our last item?
Yes.
This property was boarded also in August of last year in 2025, and we're just requesting approval of these boarding charges.
No one signed up to speak?
No.
All right, I approve the boarding action taken by the City Public Service Department and affirm the charges related to the corrective action for the structure at 1905 Riverside Drive, due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. Being no other business brought before the public officer on this day, this hearing is adjourned at 10:07 a.m. Thank you.